this to junglers. Please, I beg you.
All right, well now we enter picks and bans for the first game in this best of 5. G2 eSports on the blue side, Echo Fox on the red, already seeing some comfort picks taken away. Nocturne and Heimerdinger not going to see some play. Talia and Yasuo banned away by G2 eSports.
It does become pretty tough, and actually really surprised to see that Aatrox banned from G2. Perhaps giving credit to Huni that he may have actually been practicing this and being willing to bring it out. But G2 has been so willing to first pick the Aatrox that I'm very surprised to see a blue side ban on it.
They blind picked it twice, first pick. That actually blows my mind. And maybe they're saying, we don't want to do this. There's something that's higher priority. I'm unsure about that, though.
You can kind of go like a step further, too. And if you're saying, okay, well, maybe like Huni has a counter prepared, if you're thinking that he has the Fiora, but you're not willing to actually give it over and play that counter yourselves, then you can kind of take that next logical leap and say, okay, we have to self-ban.
Yeah, it's the long con there, right? Where you go, oh, man, maybe they have a counter for this, and since it's a best of one, you don't want to have to test that.
Find out. That's exactly what the logic is. Morgana becomes instantly the first pick priority here, so some flexibility in terms of what can happen. Interestingly enough, the Kindred now locked in. Dardoch did look very good on this champion.
He looked incredibly well on it. He was getting fed. You remember that game, Azael, where he had like 10 stacks very early on in the game. It's the one win that Echo Fox had, was him popping off.
Yeah, and I mean, if you can get to that early 4 bounties on Kindred, you always feel so good going into the mid-game, and we are going to get the funnel. I mean, yes, there is a possibility that it is not, but very likely going to be that Morgana heading to the bot lane. We're going to have Jankos on his braum, PerkZ playing the Kai'Sa. And it's going to be up to Echo Fox to see, do they have a better strategy against this? Yesterday, they tried to 2v2 mid against the funnel strategy. It really did not work out for them because their side lane started to crumble. If you put Huni in the top lane, if you put Dardoch on this Kindred camping up in that top lane, maybe you can find some more effectiveness and hold Wunder down.
And Lulu was one of the champions that saw success when used against funnel comps. The ability to point and click CC with the polymorph is incredibly nice to have against a threat like Kai'Sa, but it seems like Echo Fox were ready for this. They didn't try to ban the braum. They gave over the Kai'Sa willingly. They knew the funnel was coming.
Yeah, but the Lulu's not a guaranteed thing in that matchup because Black Shield now exists with the Morgana being first pick from G2 to secure it. And so it becomes less and less sure of how you're actually going to lock down this Kai'Sa.
And the question is, is this a Lulu actually farming bot and a Vladimir mid? Is that going to be the Vladimir bot farming for Altec? That is what I'm expecting. Very likely a Lulu mid here for Fenix, and you're playing this sort of style. Then, where is most of your consistent damage coming from? Is it depending on this Kindred to really bring that marksman damage in the mid and late game fights, or are you going to put Huni on a carry? They did pair up very well with him on a tank alongside the Kindred.
Yeah, I think that you put Huni on something that has a lot of damage because you have counterpick on red side. Wunder, now he doesn't have the Aatrox, he's going to have to play something else, and Huni will have a favorable matchup, whatever it is against.
And if he's banning out the Darius, if they ban out something like a GP, you could very easily see, them moving towards a Mundo pick here, and saying that, okay, we'll ban out some of the counters or some of the really difficult matchups to that champion. Aatrox is already gone, Darius is already gone. Those are 2 of the best matchups into Mundo, so if Wunder wanted to put himself on a tank, that could be pretty effective. Kennen, another top lane ban there onto Huni, so definitely expecting more of a blind pick tank here from Wunder and him to just try to minimize loss while PerkZ gets fed on the funnel.
See exactly where they want to shift the priority for now. Echo Fox going to opt to pick up the Shen. Will deny that pick away from the funnel, as well as making sure they have a decent matchup for themselves. Where the Shen is going to go, though, remains a question for this lineup. Is G2 eSports debating their options?
Very likely going to be Shen support with the Vladimir farming bot, the Lulu mid, and we're just waiting for the counter pick here from Huni. Poppy is the choice for Wunder, and Poppy has actually been receiving quite a few buffs, is actually quite a strong brawler, and is one of those champions that has good utility, is good at minimizing loss, and could see a lot of effectiveness.
Wow, and yeah, Poppy, champion that, like you said, has been buffed multiple times, changes to a lot of her damage on her Q, and then also her ultimate, now when you snapcast it, no longer makes them untargetable, so you can damage everybody who got knocked up in that one big ultimate.
Also applies Plasma for the Kai'Sa to follow up. There's a tremendous amount of CC on this G2 squad. It's going to be Rakan support, the farming Morgana bottom lane for...
Wow!
We are getting the Lucian!
In.
This could be, I think what they're going to do is actually flex Vladimir top, play Lucian as a marksman perhaps. It could be Lucian top for Huni, but I do think he's going to flex the Vladimir top, play Vladimir into Poppy, which is a very strong matchup in that 1v1, and this is one of the things that you saw Jankos on the screen. He was looking kind of confused, and this is one of the things that Echo Fox can do. They have so much flexibility in draft. Huni can play everything, so you can swap these champions around, and while you're expecting to see a farming Vladimir bot, it's not going to be that. It will be Huni on the top lane Vladimir.
And it's also going to be Altec, who just got subbed in on this Lucian, where he got a pentakill literally a week ago on this champion. Granted, he was funneled, but he does know how to play this champion and push the limits of it.
Absolutely classic strategies here. Echo Fox showing us the variety that they have, everything that they can bring to the table in terms of creative picks and drafting, and G2 on the opposite side, pure funnel. When we saw them in Europe, it was old Aatrox in the hands of Wunder. He still got to play a carry. This time around, everyone is supporting the Kai'Sa. There is one damage threat on this team, and it is PerkZ.
Yeah, PerkZ, he has been put in this situation many times, but the reason they are so good at running these funnels is because it pays off. PerkZ knows how to execute, and everybody knows how to defend him. And the Poppy is another layer with the steadfast presence, where what's the engage on the side of Fox? It's really the Shen getting in there with a Shadow Dash, and that's shut down by the Poppy if Wunder is actually on point with his W.
Could be tough. You can also look for things like the Vladimir being sped up by the Lulu, trying to fly in for those engages. But yeah, it's going to be kind of all eggs in the PerkZ basket once again. But he is the best player on G2. He is their star, and he has been so damn consistent. Jankos working so well alongside him, and this is a funnel that G2 can be proactive with. They're very good at getting out on the map with the Kai'Sa, matching any dives that could be coming in here from Echo Fox if they attack the side lanes. And I'm very excited to see these two teams clash with their differing styles.
Cannot wait to see it. We're going to start now. G2 eSports coming in on the blue side. Echo Fox on the red. First match of this best of 5. One last set of games. EU versus NA. Who will reign supreme?
And I love this from Dardoch, where he's already marked PerkZ, sending a message. And one of the big things in funnels is the other jungler has to figure out what to do against it. Sometimes you go mid towards the funnel on the waves because their timings are very deliberate and you can understand them and kind of catch them. But also going to side lanes that have gank potential are also options that you can go for. But it looks like Dardoch is sending a message already, marking PerkZ and saying this is where he's going to go.
And it will be very interesting to see if that is going to end up being the strategy. I mean, again, yesterday they did try this Rumble mid with Huni, Pantheon jungle, try to 2v2 against the funnel in the mid lane, and then utilize their pressure there to take away some of the jungle camps. Unfortunately, everything kind of fell apart when Wunder crushed Fenix in the top lane on the Aatrox, and then the strategy ends up not looking so good. But I think they could try to 2v2 mid, they could try to camp top, and are looking to steal away this red level 1. Echo Fox just has to give it.
Yeah, man in vain. They give it, but what they should get is mid lane priority, and if they can actually slow PerkZ enough here and have the Lulu push with Glitter Lance, he may lose a minion or two because it's Jankos actually. Oh, that's interesting. They didn't smite the first camp. Usually you smite the first camp to try and get there because he's losing stuff to the turret.
I think they might want to try to go for the scuttle or something, which is kind of interesting to save that away. They're
later.
actually going right back for the Raptors, so they're going to try to save smite for the Raptors and take away multiple topside camps. So definitely more of a commitment to the counter jungling style, but as you said, they lost the full first wave to the turret. So this is more of a focus on shutting down Dardoch than it is on optimizing farm for PerkZ. So that is kind of the trade-off that they're making. They're saying, hey, if we keep the Kindred down, it doesn't matter if we're a little bit down ourselves.
And with how good Dardoch looked on this champion, it makes a lot of sense to try to take something away from him, but he is undeterred. Moves into the bottom side. Yes, he has been delayed, but he's still going to get 2 buffs, and it looks like he is set up to clear out this bottom side nicely.
Yeah, but he's mega unlucky. The scuttle on his side isn't the marked one, so it's funny because what you want to do to get that stack is not actually kill the bottom scuttle. You wait a minute until the mark moves over to it, but that delays you taking a scuttle crab, which could potentially go over to the funnel. So this puts you in kind of a odd situation as the Kindred.
Yeah, and while you always want to prioritize marks, you have to optimize farm first, right? The marks are secondary. They do kind of multiply your power, but you need the farm and the items to actually get that base power to start multiplying in the first place. So we'll see how well this is going to work out for him, and also how effective Huni can actually be up in that 1v1, because while I do think Vladimir can start to take over against Wunder, and Wunder, yes, he can itemize for magic resist in the 1v1, but there's double marksman on this team supported by a Lulu, so if you stack too much MR, then you're vulnerable to those marksmen in the mid-game team fights, and that is really kind of the thing he's going to have to work with.
It's also an interesting decision for G2. Wunder we considered probably the strongest performing member individually, and they put him on a much more supportive role this time around, whereas in every previous game, he's been a big individual carry.
He really has, but when you're in this situation where you're going to funnel, Huni's going to play top, and you know, that is something that is pretty dangerous. If Echo Fox has red side, you're giving away the counter pick.
And right now, Fenix, he pushed mid. Jankos had to come back to catch it. They know they're on top side. 4-man dive, bottom potential.
Moving in and on the way. They're not showing anything for G2 quite yet.
Mark on Wadid.
Wadid have to be careful.
Oh, there it is.
Going to come. The top flash, beautiful engage. Started things off. Immediate first blood. Echo Fox, no hesitation to force the drop. Oh, the binding misses. Hjärnan goes down. Double dropping for the Lulu. A beautiful start for Echo Fox.
And that was just smart anti-funnel macro play there from Echo Fox. Fenix had mid lane priority. Jankos had to come back because they're farming too many jungle camps. Holds the wave. 100% you know exactly where the Kai'Sa and Braum are, so you have numbers advantage.
And such a good taunt flash there from Adrian to set it up. There's no real way for Wadid to actually react to this. There comes the taunt flash. Gets both perfectly placed. Full commitment from Echo Fox. All members fly in. They get the double kill here onto Fenix.
And that was a great flash from Altec as well. The binding would have made contact with him. He would have died. And he takes one more turret shot as well, just barely staying alive.
Small thing, but unfortunate for Dardoch. The Mark hadn't actually finished channeling, so he doesn't actually pick up the bounty on Wadid, but they're still going to feel very, very good about that initial play. You always do have to track, though, how quickly can you get to the 4 stacks, because if you get that 4-stack bounty, you're going to be massively more effective with the additional range in the team fights.
Yeah,
go ahead. This is the kind of start that Echo Fox and North America are looking for. You hear the crowd erupt when Echo Fox get those 2 kills. Now a 1K gold lead in the early game, but you have to keep the momentum up because PerkZ is an inevitability. At some point, this Kai'Sa will be able to kill everybody.
He's an inevitability, but look at that. Dardoch going in.
Can't block anything else with the Unbreakable. Fenix walking forward. PerkZ getting chunked out. Good use of the pressure they have in the mid lane.
Yeah, very nicely done. I mean, they're going to push them back. He's going to be able to get a bounty in the bottom river now because bot lane is pushing. They shove out PerkZ. He can roam down, pick up his first mark here on the bottom side, and even potentially, you know, look to put more pressure down on that bottom lane.
For now, G2 Hjärnan and Wadid now going to have to play a little bit safer as Dardoch picks up the first mark, as you mentioned. Wunder, interestingly enough, keeping pressure on the top side of the map, but at a certain point, Huni's just going to be unconcerned by that Poppy for now, though. Pressure goes in favor of G2. Taunt not going to connect to the flash, though. You know next time it's up, he's going to be looking for it one more time.
Yeah, and another thing that needs to be considered here is Fenix, he's the one who got the 2 kills. He gets the Lost Chapter very early. He has more shoving power, a lot of damage in that mid lane. And the more I think about it, Lulu's actually super good into Kai'Sa because her E gives true sight. So in team fights, she's stealth. You still see her.
Look at this roam actually on the bot side. Jankos running down to the bottom lane, trying to preempt any potential dives. While it's not going to pan out in this case, this is one of the things I think G2 does so well with the funnel. They don't just stay glued together with this Kai'Sa and Braum. Jankos tries to read the map using his jungle skills to kind of say, hey, where is their jungler going to be? I can still counter gank whether I'm a Braum or a Sejuani or whatever, and he really is very effective with it.
And then he ganks the lane that he's supposed to be in.
Forward, custom blow stacks have not come in yet. Flash out, Fenix going to tank it on the way out, but no stun. Means no kill for the side of G2.
I mean, they still get the flash out of him and the wild growth, so he is very killable right now, especially since PerkZ now has killer instinct.
Now make his way to the top side, see if he can get a gank on the Huni. Huni overextending has been a big issue for Echo Fox in the past. Of course, spam EU LCS chat if you support G2 eSports, spam NA LCS if you support Echo Fox. I'm guessing in-house at least that it might be a little bit NA LCS favored. Zirene, don't you pull out your phone to spam Twitch chat. That's cheating. You're not allowed to manipulate the results like that.
We'll check in on the results later. If it's EU faved, we can doctor those up really quick.
Classic American elections.
Or if it's EU favorite, we just forget about it somehow. You know, just, oh man, we never showed the results of that thing. Oh, unlucky. Right now,
absolutely a shame. But the pressure in mid continues to be a favorite of Echo Fox. This is exactly what they want. NALCS fans out in force, and Echo Fox out in force on the bottom side of the jungle, making sure to take away a few of these camps, denying resources. Although the battle's continuing to rage here, they're trying desperately to fight back.
I think Echo Fox are in a great position, though. Huni is doing well on the top lane, just scaling. Mid lane, the 2 kills went over to Fenix, and Altec has actually got a large CS advantage.
And one of the things you really have to remember about this specific comp, as we're seeing Dardoch pick up another bounty, is that this is not such an early game all-in style strategy that Echo Fox is playing. They have a tremendous amount of scaling. Lucian and Kindred are going to be very powerful in their own right in the later stages with that Lulu support, and Vladimir is a monster team fighter in those later stages as well. So definitely there's a lot of flexibility in this Echo Fox comp. It doesn't feel as all-in on the early game.
Yeah, absolutely, and I love that because all the scaling that's going to come through means that Echo Fox is a team, they love skirmishes. If you win some early skirmishes like they have in that dive, it just means that if you get to that late game, that mid-game point where you want to team fight faster.
And I'm really loving this game in particular, how Echo Fox is playing this out. It feels like this is what they wanted the last game against Funnel to look like, where their mid and jungle are actually pressuring the Funnel. You can see Phoenix is only down 15 farm on PerkZ. They're utilizing that pressure to then take away jungle camps, to delay the scaling here of PerkZ and try to put him behind. And I think that they have done a very good job of that so far, but PerkZ will hit his items, will get very strong, and it's going to be up to him to really perform incredibly well in these team fights to make it so G2 can kind of battle back.
Yeah, and it's weird because, hold on, PerkZ
Hold
up
that
top though.
Huni could now be in trouble, running for his life. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to make Killer Instinct flash over, but Killer Instinct is there. Blast Cone, is it going to be enough? Good little bit of healing. Nah, not going to happen in the end. Huni running for his life. One more auto. He's going to have the Crimson Rush as well. Sidesteps. Huni can't make it out. So close, but Jankos going to get it in the end.
Yeah, it goes over to the braum though, so that gold, that big amount of money doesn't go over to the Kai'Sa. And Phoenix is actually ahead in experience here in mid lane, so it's still like PerkZ chasing this guy around, losing CS to the turret, losing experience. So this funnel is purely in gold, and he didn't even get that much off that kill.
And it looks like a single kill is all it takes to sway public perception to win the vote there. 56%.
So fickle, Twitch.
And we take a look at this one more time. Huni just very much caught out here.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of reminiscent of the Renekton stuff. Yes, he makes them chase him, and it kind of does take a bit of time to actually knock him down. But again, he is pushed up very far. It's only the braum sitting mid. You have to kind of be cognizant of the fact that Kai'Sa can roam very easily, utilizing the Killer Instinct, and Huni does do a good job in making Jankos take this and buying some time, but probably shouldn't have been caught in the first place.
Yeah, but it means that Jankos had to stop holding mid lane, and now Phoenix is literally 6 CS, 7 CS behind right now. So
yeah,
it's very even, and I believe he's still up in experience. That's a really early Ignite.
Not hesitating, just throwing down the Ignite there, and really it feels like Echo Fox have been dictating the pace of the game ever since they pulled out that successful bot dive. They've been pushing in mid. Outside of the one fumble there by Huni on the top side, things look so good for Echo Fox right now. 2K gold lead, a Drake in their favor, and they're steadily chunking down this mid lane tower.
And we're not even seeing a lot of purchases here. PerkZ just went back to get his Blood Razor. Phoenix is sitting on 2,300 gold, so there's a lot to be spent here. And Altec, ooh, the binding doesn't land!
Connecting the enemy, Altec just gets to walk away. No hesitation there from Adrian, though, immediately using the Stand United to make sure Altec stays safe.
Yeah, very calm play, honestly. When you're trading out the Stand United for both the bot lane ult, it's better to use your Stand United than Altec having to flash. So that is a pretty good trade. Good communication there from the Echo Fox bot lane to not have to give more than that up. But, G2 trying to fight back and put on pressure. This turret is getting whittled down.
Very, very low. Dardoch, though, caught out in Wunder, going after Huni.
Saying is welcome. He's going to need the ulti to heal up, but he has the pool to buy a bit of time. Ulti, he is going to miss. Kindred now using her ulti as well, so ulti is staying used up. Maybe G2 can use this time to force down the top lane tower, but could be very vulnerable on the bottom side if they do.
Yeah, the top lane turret is full health as well. Like, you can't just knock that down so quickly. Phoenix is going to get back out. They don't know where he is on the map right now, so Huni should be able to hold this. Wunder is out of mana, and it's Echo Fox. The inevitability of this bot lane going down is kind of there.
Yeah, the only thing they have to worry about is potential teleport from behind by somebody like Wunder. And, Wadid,
looking for it. Black Shield does reduce a little bit of the damage there, but the Ignite ticking down. Wadid is going to make it out, but one more creep wave and this tower is going to break.
Exactly. That's going to be turret there off of the engage from Adrian and follow-up from Altec. So this 2-on-2, and the fact that they got those early kills and summoner spells means Fox is going to have a good lead.
And that means an early Blade of the Rune King completion for Altec. He's going to have the gold. They're going to give him solo turret gold here. And having strong individual side lanes that are winning and PerkZ barely being ahead. He's actually down in gold in that 1v1 in the mid lane. G2 is losing across the map, and they're going to have to be very, very careful to not bleed out this game because the side lane pressure will continue.
And for the first time this tournament, it feels like G2 are on the back foot. 3 members on the Echo Fox lineup completing their first item. At the same time, PerkZ is finishing up those tier 2 boots. That is not where you want to be.
Oh, absolutely. You don't want to be in that position. And Echo Fox, they want to be in that position because now they get to swap lanes. They get to continue pressuring the map. And when you have a funnel where you have basically 2 supports and no jungler that wants to roam around, you end up having a lot more pressure here because now Dardoch can play to that side of the map, unlock the scuttles, and keep going into the jungle.
Yeah, the amount of burst even that's going to be unlocked for Phoenix now because those early 2 kills, the early Ludens, like this is PerkZ with no HP purchased up, no MR purchased up, which is not an incorrect build path, but he's just damn squishy here on the Kai'Sa and is going to have to be so careful.
And I think he shuts down the funnel. But, good flash there.
Grand entrance not connecting. Big whiff there from Wadid. Learning the ultimate for nothing.
Gets the flash out of Dardoch, though, not having to use his own. But the thing here about the Luden's Echo is that's so much wave clear for Fenix. He actually pretty much pins PerkZ down into the mid lane, and it really means that either PerkZ or Jankos have to be in mid lane at almost all times here.
And I think we absolutely have to praise Altec this game, although that might change in just a moment. Adrian now having to run out. They are buying a bit of time, but Wunder has very low health bar. Altec incredibly strong with that Blade of the Rune King. Coing is going to come out as Wunder going to go down. Doesn't want to push for anything more, but Dardoch is now on the hunt, looking for a kill.
They can go for the turret. You know, Dardoch can chase this, but he doesn't have to.
Going to be mounting Dread. Going for a little bit more. He does have the ult. He wants to chase it down. Jankos is there. No, not even going to get it.
What
Absolute disaster for Echo Fox. Fenix, will he even get one knocked into the wall? Chain CC, can they keep it? Force bags. Are you kidding me?
That is reportable. Like, like, what are they doing? I mean, you can just go top, take a free tier 1 top lane turret. Fenix and Dardoch just ran it down. We just watched a live intentional feed here at Rip Rivals.
I was going to praise their bottom lane.
Oh my god,
but it feels inappropriate now. Good job. Altec and Adrian, you made the right call when you backed off.
Yeah, this is the smart one. This is the smart call there.
So walk in.
Break it down for me, Zirene.
Yeah, tell me the exact
the strategy.
Yeah, so Dardoch, he has another Q here. He Qs forward, and he feels like he's going to get the E off. Sometimes that Kindred range, you're just like, ooh, if I had more stacks, I would be able to hit him. But then he gets blown up there, not expecting the damage from the turret, because it was just ramping up, and then we can't even talk about it anymore.
Yeah,
we don't want to.
PerkZ now running for his life. Needs to make it out. Uses the killer instinct for the shield. Hemoplague still taking down on an immediate kill pickup for Echo Fox. May have made a mistake earlier, but they're turning it around instantly.
Yeah, I mean, still, you know, the game is looking very good for Echo Fox, but definitely some questionable, we'll say that, plays there from Dardoch and Fenix. Either way, Echo Fox is looking good, still has pressure on the map, and we'll see if they can continue to pressure down these turrets. I mean, they've knocked down the outer turrets in top and bot. The mid lane turret is very low. Dardoch's going to grab another bounty on the bot side of the map, and things are looking better and better for Echo Fox, but they have to stay composed. You know, this aggressive playstyle is often this double-edged sword. It works very well for them, but they often then kind of overextend and go for these crazy plays that they can get punished for and give opportunities to their opponents to come back.
And a big thing about the funnel that people don't always consider is you actually get 2 sight stones in the funnel composition. So when you're on the back foot, you actually have more vision to put in your jungle and defend. So it's a little easier to cover both sides of the map when you typically can only cover one with a normal just amount of support and wards.
And it's interesting, too, because G2 have been in this position before in the EU LCS. Fnatic had a very strong early game against them in their recent matchup, but they weren't able to close it out. So the question now is, can Echo Fox just keep doing this? Things have been looking good, but if they make missteps like they did on the top side of the map, it's very easy for the Kais to come back.
It certainly is, but I do think that Echo Fox still has full control in the game. They have pressure in both the side lanes for the most part. Dardoch is taking a dragon as they're taking a turret, as Huni is recalling. Like, they have full control on the map, and you know, PerkZ is going to try to knock down the first turret here with the Rift Herald, should be able to get one back for G2.
But it depends on how much he commits to this. They don't have vision in the river, so it looks like Echo Fox aren't actually going to try to cut him off or anything like that. Instead, they're just going to walk straight through and actually...
Let's go for an extra wave. This is green.
Yeah, they're going to actually try to punish him for it.
Rune King trying to buy a little bit of time. Wants to get out Killer Instinct just for the shield. TP is coming in. The rest of the supports are here. PerkZ is still alive. He might just be able to get one. Adrian going to get taken down. Wunder happy to pick up that kill. Huni knocked to the wall. Is he going to get a chance to buy a little bit more time? Pool comes out. Lamb's Respite. A brief break. Might be enough, but G2 trying to turn it back. Huni!
What a god!
Goes into the back line. Takes out the damage threat.
That's all their damage they can chase!
Can't get anything else. Dardoch just wants to clean it up. 2 dropping for Echo Fox. A good fight in the end, but an absolute bloodbath.
You just see the force of will there from Huni, where he ends up almost dying. The pool comes through, the ultimate, and then the outplay to kill the sole damage source on G2. That presence of mind from him to go after PerkZ when the entire fight is hectic.
Definitely a big play, but PerkZ honestly doing such a good job buying time, you know, dipping and dodging with the Supercharger and Viz, with the ultimate, buying time for the rest of his squad to get up there and keep him alive, and still a positive play for G2 on the whole. They get multiple kills, they get 2 charges, they knock down a turret, and right here is the player talking about, Huni turning it around and finishing off PerkZ.
Yeah, that was a really good turn there. Ultimate into the channel, E onto PerkZ with the extra damage there. Dardoch absolutely saving the day. And we were talking about when you play a funnel, you take Dardoch kind of out of the game because he's on braum, Alistar duty. Put him on a Kindred, give him the opportunities to outplay. 100% kill participation for him, and he really did save that fight to allow Huni to do the rest.
And he's hit the 4 bounties. He's at 5 right now, so he, while he wasn't able to pick up a couple of those early ones because of, the spawning on the top side away from him, he has gotten a lot of bounties. Dardoch is looking very strong. We see Altec is going to be working towards that 2 items with the Black Cleaver, double spell pen on Fenix. A lot of things are coming together here for Echo Fox, and they need to continue pressuring turrets. Right now, they're looking for the bot lane tier 2 and potentially a dive here on Wunder.
Yeah. The question is, are G2 even going to try to defend this one at this point in the game? 4 members strong here on the bottom side. Wunder left on his lonesome. Not even going to get a chance to defend this one. Hjärnan's here, but too little, too late. So Echo Fox going to grab another tower, continue to extend this gold lead, and we're a minute away from Baron spawning with this kind of massive lead.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like Azael was saying, you have to keep this pressure up because right now, PerkZ, 2-item spike for himself, has the Rage Blade, now has a stopwatch for the next fight, and so he becomes even harder to kill. It gives him more time to stack the Rage Blade, which actually interacts with the braum passive of stacking up 2 every 2 shots. So braum applies 1, 2 hits from Kai'Sa sets off the stun. So it's much harder to actually be engaged in these fights and actually have the uptime when you're against this combo.
And it becomes so much about the precision engages from Echo Fox. Can you find that taunt flash? Can Huni find a flank, onto PerkZ and take him down? Because if you mess up that engage at all, you're not going to have enough initial burst to take down PerkZ. The supports will shield him up. He'll get Black Shield. He'll get shielded from Wadid. He'll be blocked up by Jankos. And if he survives, things will start to fall apart for Echo Fox.
And that's where I think the Lamb's Respite and the Kindred pick become huge because you can wait out the shields. You can actually deal a lot of damage to this guy who can't kill you. And that's one of the big things of the funnel is they have this rubber banding back in once the supports get behind him.
Even the Shen support, with that parry zone can be very frustrating when all of your damage is coming from this Kai'Sa. Even a couple of those auto attacks being parried coming out of a Lamb's Respite is a big deal.
Yeah. And Spirit's Refuge, the double proc's not going to come through. And now, things look good. PerkZ, though, potentially looking for a little bit of action here on the side lane, hoping Huni will overextend.
Just use the E.
Tides of Blood. Now backs off, just throws out the ultimate, a warning sign that PerkZ should not commit there. Does give up that cooldown, but not getting much else. The rest of Fox, though, may just look for a collapse here. Have to be careful about grouping in the funnel. Wadid now going to look for the engage. Only connects on 1, though. Has to back out. Hesitation as Dardoch may just look to turn this. Jankos using the Unbreakable. Now they're using the ultimate to disengage. Hjärnan looking for a little bit more. The binding does not connect. One member is getting chipped down. PerkZ alive, but he's all on his lonesome on this side there. They are going to get 1. Huni's on the front lines, but looking at PerkZ's health bar. Hjärnan going to be the sacrificial lamb here, just the 1-for-1.
They could even try to go and pressure Baron potentially here, or the tier 2 top. There's actually pings over onto Baron. Echo Fox is looking healthy. They want to draw G2 over right now, knowing that PerkZ had to go back to base. They're on the Baron.
Start to cut through this. The Kindred and the Lucian there to shred it out. Fenix there to keep them healthy. Wunder debating what are the options. 7K and
going
dropping.
Down fast.
Has to make a decision here shortly. Dardoch now trying to turn. Wunder doing what he can with the steadfast presence. Needs to get in that pit, but they don't have a smite. No way. Fox are going to get this one in the end. Clean Baron for Echo Fox.
And Fox get out too. They don't go for the bait. They don't actually chase Wunder, one of Fox's biggest Achilles heels, and they avoid it in this crucial match.
Yeah, Echo Fox, showing some measure to their play there, showing some patience. PerkZ was at 10% HP, but Huni saves his flash, backs off. They know they can go back for the Baron, and the initial play here, Wadid looked for the big engage, but Dardoch and Altec able to get back out of it, and they traded damage, chunking him out of the fight almost immediately.
Yeah, just barely not able to make contact there, and also there's so much down that Adrian goes forward and PerkZ comes in from the side. Everybody turns on him. He goes to the opposite side of Adrian, but then there's just so much damage from Huni. He removes PerkZ from the fight almost instantaneously.
Yeah, chunking him out and actually playing, pretty patiently, backing off with the rest of the team instead of trying to chase in for that empowered Q and the finish off. And Echo Fox retreat to the Baron. They're looking fully in control. One small mistake in the top lane, but they are looking damn good, and G2 eSports is the well, they're not the number 1 seed, but they're the best team in Europe right now. And this strategy, we heard Grabs talking about it, trying to give this sacrificial lamb of Splice over to TL, depending on G2 to win.
You're gonna have to hold that thought, though, because PerkZ is now moving in, looking for Adrian. TP is being used, though. Huni's gonna make his presence known. PerkZ now needs to run for his life. There aren't any shields there. Sonya's buys a brief moment. Taunt not going to connect. Big mistake there from Adrian. He's going to regret that one because PerkZ now can cut through everyone. Huni running for his life. Stand United just trying to bring him out. Goes over the wall. The killer instinct. Looking for the outplay. PerkZ, a man possessed. He's going to get 1. Looking for 2. Tides of Blood does not make it. Crimson Rush is coming up soon. Huni. But there's a fight in the mid lane. Dardoch sees the explode. Sarah. Oh, double. Disaster for G2.
Echo Fox can push mid lane. Huni's still going.
Back. Tides of Blood is going to connect with PerkZ. He's going to get 1 more. PerkZ alive. Phoenix on the way in. He's going to get PerkZ. He's going to take him down.
They can end the game mid lane. They're pushing with the Baron buff here. Echo Fox may have just knocked G2 out of the best of 5.
G2 have not lost a single game in EU or Rift Rivals all summer, and Echo Fox are going to take them down.
3-0 in the group stage, undefeated in Europe, but it is not enough in the face of Echo Fox. Turning it back, showing what they're made of, putting it all on the line here, but finding the first win for NA LCS.
A 23-minute win for Echo Fox. They go to the tried and true. Counter pick for Huni in the top lane. Dardoch on a carry jungler, and Echo Fox looked dominant over G2 here in game number 1.
I wondered if they could keep doing it. Could they keep up the momentum? But they did not give G2 a moment to breathe. PerkZ, you look at the bottom lane, you go, maybe he outplays. Maybe this is the chance to turn, but the rest of Echo Fox not going to give them a second. They say 3 supports, we're going to kill y'all.
Exactly. If PerkZ is not with the rest of the team, there's no damage source to knock down Dardoch, to knock down Altec, and that's the key for the Echo Fox composition. They can all work independently of each other. There's so much damage. There's so many threats. If PerkZ is not there, the G2 composition does not function.
Yeah, not at all. And I love that from Echo Fox, where they played against the funnel. We saw it from the very beginning. The contest on the red, they said, nope, go to the other side. And they did such a good job of shutting it down, where PerkZ was basically the same level as Fenix the entire game, pretty much even in gold, and was not able to get much. They played so well against that funnel. This Echo Fox makes you look at the other Echo Fox games and be like, why are they trying all this stuff? Because when they do this, it looks so good.
I mean, Dardoch on both his Kindred games was absolutely incredible.
He absolutely was. But to hear more about that upset victory, let's send it over to Azael in the Echo Fox bot laner.
Thanks, guys. Defeating the undefeated Altec. How pumped are you to be the first team to take down G2?
Honestly, it feels pretty good just because, like, you know, we lost to them yesterday and, you know, I wasn't playing right. But, you know, it feels good to be the best EU team and, you know, we're their first loss, so it feels pretty good.
And you guys were the first team chosen to play today. Were you nervous at all when you saw you were going against G2?
Not really. Honestly, like, we have a lot of strategies planned against Funnel, and, you know, the one yesterday didn't really work out, but, you know, today we played pretty well, and, you know, we got the win.
And Coach Anero said that he was putting you back in to try out some new comps and play styles. What made you the EU killer today?
Honestly, I have, like, a lot of confidence in my Lucian. Obviously, we're preparing for, like, different strategies, but we thought that Lucian was going to be the best pick. So we picked Lucian, and, you know, my results on Lucian have been pretty good, so we ended up doing pretty well bottom, which led to, you know, snowballing bottom, and, you know, overall, like, the map was pretty good for us after that.
Well, Altec, congratulations again. And for more on that victory, let's hear it from the analyst desk.
Thank you very much, Azael. Safe to say that was unexpected, but a lot of happy fans here in North America as Echo Fox takes down the undefeated G2 eSports. First loss they've taken all summer, split even in their own region.
You could just smell the upset in the air, couldn't you, Deficio? No? No?
Do you guys want to talk about the draft?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'd love to, actually. I would love to.
You want to talk about the draft?
I want to talk about the draft.
All right, let's talk about it.
I think G2 will not be unhappy, you know, standard Morgana in there, the braum for Jankos, Kai'Sa for PerkZ, it's all there, it's all great. I like the answers, though, with, like, pushing mid laner, aggressive bot lane that actually took an early turret as well, and I don't really care about Huni's Vladimir, didn't do much in the early game.
Yeah, and I will say the counters have a window with which they work, and then they would stop working, and Echo Fox managed to win within that window. So Lulu shoving up early, Kindred having that small synergy against Funnel of having slightly more access to marks from the lower jungle attention that the other team has, but then mainly just the fact that they were able to get a lot of early tempo, they were able to take a lot of early turrets with their double marksmen, and they just snowballed their advantage forward. But this is such an early dive. Look at the levels right here. The fact that Shen initiates this one, but then also is able to drop turret aggro onto someone else so the heat of the turret resets to do a little bit less damage. Beautiful four-man dive there by Echo Fox.
Yeah, Altec flashing that binding, not getting caught, and then tanking the turret to the last second was the only reason they didn't trade a kill back there. And then after that, that kind of set up the rest of the game because while Huni wasn't being very clean, dying, Fenix and Dardoch had their moments but also had some hiccups. The one consistent factor was Altec and Adrian, who got rolling right away.
Yeah, but even after the 3 turrets died, I still kind of sat back and felt, okay, this is standard enough against the Funnel, because when you play Funnel, you are supposed to win early game against, like, it's 3 supports and a Kai'Sa who's just farming. So you should be getting ahead early if you're Echo Fox, and they did that. But I was like, it's okay. There will be a big team fight soon. G2 will win that team fight like they always do. PerkZ will get a bunch of kills, and then right back into the game. As long as they don't lose a Baron, we're good.
Sure, I will say that, but the plus 43 CSD at 10 for Dardoch and Fenix when compared to Jankos and PerkZ is much lower than you want from a funnel. Like you fall behind, and then there's this, right? Because it was Fenix the same level of PerkZ pretty much the whole time, and around 10 minutes, Fenix alone was almost even CS with PerkZ, and that 43 extra was on Dardoch.
The concern for me was not PerkZ specifically not being furthered. He got a Rage Blade like at 18 minutes. He was fine. It's more the fact you're playing against so many shields, like Black Shield and a Braum protecting him. So even if you do feel like you are actually doing fine in shutting down PerkZ, you just normally can't kill him in a late game fight. We just never got to late game fights because Echo Fox, they got the exact moments they needed.
Oh, very much so. You talk about the early game advantages, but rolling it forward into those skirmishes will end up in their favor. What's going on here?
Wadid, what are you doing? First of all, your team is not ready to fight with you, and you only get onto Shen, so now Rakan is completely useless. Hjärnan is not even here yet, and PerkZ is actually zoned from the fight originally. G2 at this point were just trying to stall. They did not have to do anything. But Wadid saw an opening, and I mean, if you are a playmaker, you go for these openings, and sometimes they backfire. That's what happened here, so they lost the Baron.
And then this is the synergy with Lulu and Kindred. You drop the Kindred also, he can't die for a little bit. Then you have all the shieldings and stuff from Lulu come on top as well, so he's able to get that big bonus and stay together. And this was what happened a lot of the time, was that there was no synergy with the 3 supports around PerkZ. You had a bunch of supports in the mid lane, and then PerkZ fighting with a Poppy in the bot lane.
But hats off to Fenix there, being in the mid lane fight, and then running down to what had been a lost 2v2 by Echo Fox, where they're about to get 2 for 0, and that probably would have prolonged the game. Fenix made the smart call to ditch the marksman who didn't need his help killing turrets and finish out that fight.
Yeah, I actually think Fenix was my MVP of the game, even though, you know, you look at Dardoch dancing around the enemy jungle, Altec taking bot lane turret, but I think he not only controlled the mid lane, he got a bunch of really good poke on PerkZ and Jankos in the early game that also forced him to slow down. And then in all these different skirmishes, he did a great job. So G2's composition that was supposed to go as 5 ended up splitting up, and then they got completely punished by Echo Fox.
All in all, at the top of the day, we talked about Echo Fox kind of being the wild card for the NA region, and that for G2 being the more stable of teams, that was the one that you thought might be able to handle Echo Fox, but the win falls in favor of the NA LCS. NA LCS gets to choose their next representative. They have elected to throw 100 Thieves out next in Game 2. EU has responded with Fnatic, and Blue side has been selected for 100 Thieves.
And I like what NA is doing here, and it puts an absolute must-win for Fnatic. So they're getting the side selection, which is increasing 100 Thieves' chances of an upset because they think they're going to have Team Liquid versus Splyce in the bag anyway. And EU is still not switching their strategy. They're still saying, we're going to sacrifice Splyce to maximize our chances in the other two. It's just gotten a lot scarier because at this point, almost the best case scenario that EU is thinking is down 1 and 2 moving into game 4, being allowed to play G2 again.
Yeah, and the wild card, Echo Fox upsetting the #1 seed, that was supposed to be the guaranteed one. And then you're supposed to get the guaranteed loss with Splyce, and now...
The expectation was for EU to come out 2-1 with this strategy through the first 3 games. Now they're looking at a best case scenario of 1-2, and then maybe coming back in game 4,
right? Or 2-1. I mean, the same way we say low seed and high seed.
Exactly. I mean,
Splyce
it's way different. Upset's out of the air. I smelled an upset. It's gone.
And then
it already happened.
Splyce will not beat TL. We have to remember Echo Fox is tied for first place in North America. There's a big difference in terms of what these 2 teams have shown. So Europe is hoping for a 1-2. If Fnatic lose, it's 3-0 North America.
Let's talk about that matchup just a little bit. 100 Thieves on Blue side does position them to get maybe the best draft possible for themselves. But what are we looking for 100 Thieves to do to actually take a win off of Fnatic here?
I mean, I think you're kind of hoping that Fnatic shoot themselves in their own foot because they can be over-aggressive at times. I think when you just look at the 2 team strengths on paper, Fnatic should be the better team. But they have that tendency sometimes to go for an over-aggressive play. And if 100 Thieves can sit back and get Cody Sun Big, who's been their biggest carry threat since their inception, that's what's going to get them to victory.
I think you can 100% beat Fnatic in the laning phase. We know they mainly want to run tanks top lane. We know in the bottom lane it is some of the standard mages, but if you have things like Lucian and you actually can get him ahead early, you can shut down Whippo and Hylissang in the bot lane, and then Fnatic and this like 5-man run at you comp is not very scary because they need to be ahead, so they're the ones forcing the fights.
Yeah, and just to set some expectations, I'm not expecting too much from 100 Thieves because we have to remember this is their first week playing with Levi and Brandini on their main roster. They tried a Levi funnel the first time they played against G2, didn't work. I think their best chance is to play actually as standard as possible with strong lanes. Try and give Levi winning lanes so he turns it into more of a solo queue experience where he can thrive and try and carry that way. But I think it's pretty unlikely for this case, and I'm hoping for the Game 4 NA victory.
A big surprise here in Game 1 as NA takes it. They drew first blood. We'll see if Fnatic can equalize the scoreline versus 100 Thieves in Game 2. Don't touch that browser.